Alright, hello there everyone. Welcome to Varied Nexus. I know it's been a long time since I've been on here, but I'm back. So, today we're going to talk about the Halo Infinite graphics controversy. So, if you saw my video about Halo 5 and its microtransactions, you might know that I'm a pretty big Halo fan. I've been playing Halo pretty much my whole life. It was in fact my mom that got me started on it. She used to play CE, and I would watch her back on the original Xbox, and ever since I've been a huge fan of this series, and I've had pretty much every Xbox up to this point. Well, at least the main ones, so the original, the 360, and the launch Xbox One, which is what I still use today. So, anyway, talking about Halo Infinite, I know a lot of people are kind of upset with the graphics. They don't like necessarily the detail on the character models or how the environment looks, and they think that it doesn't look next-gen enough. At least that's what I'm gathering from some of the opinions. Honestly, to me, as a longtime Halo fan, I don't think this is a huge problem. This is really not a big deal. It's not a huge deal breaker for me. I'm still going to buy this game. I'm still going to play it because it fixes the issues I had with Halo 5. Now, that's just a personal thing. It brings back the old art style, and the gameplay keeps some of the positive things from Halos 4 and 5, while also returning to the style that worked in the Bungie era games. So I'm very happy to see that. I like that we're getting a kind of like a pseudo continuation to both Halo Wars 2 and Halo 5. I think that is an excellent idea, and I think it's going to make for a unique gameplay experience. But when it comes to the graphics, I think that one of the reasons it may not look as good as people want it to, and I know a lot of other people, like Alana Pierce, Inside Gaming, and so on, have brought this up, where the game is not was not shown off in the best possible way. This wasn't a on-stage presentation where they have the console or the PC or whatever device is running the game right there in front of an audience so you can see what the game will look like on your living room TV, your bedroom TV, your PC monitor, whatever. This was done over a live stream, and it's pretty well documented on multiple people's channels that this stream was not the greatest. There was a lot of technical issues, a lot of hiccups, a lot of lag, a lot of resolution problems for a lot of different people. And that may have caused the gameplay to look bad for some people. Now, Inside Gaming did download the footage directly from the stream and bumped it up to 4K and uploaded it to YouTube or in their video talking about it. And they still say, well, it doesn't look great. Now, the reasoning for this, I think, is because this is an open-world Halo game. Halo has always been a very linear game with some open sections. Now, the reason I think this is the case is because open-world games typically, even though they can look really good, I'm not trying to say open-world games look bad, but truly open-world games tend to not look as good as some linear games out there that don't have to render as much at once. So, I mean, if you look at, say, The Witcher 3, which is a great-looking game, and compare it to, say, the newest Modern Warfare, I mean, The Witcher 3 still looks amazing. It looks like a beautiful game. But comparing it to, say, a more linear game like the current Modern Warfare, I mean, Modern Warfare, the models blow it away. Now, maybe that's an unfair comparison. The Witcher 3 is a 2015 game. Modern Warfare is a 2019 game. 2019 game. Maybe it's an unfair comparison. But you get what I'm trying to say, is in open world games, there's a lot to render, there's a lot to process for the CPU and the GPU, a lot more. And even though you can have very beautiful open world games, like Horizon Zero Dawn, Red Dead Redemption 2, these games took years upon years to make. And their whole concept, their whole identity was being open world. That was part of their key design philosophy. Now, I know 343 has been trying to make Halo Infinite from the ground up work with this open world. You have to keep in mind, though, they're taking systems and gameplay elements from games that were traditionally, while semi-open in some areas, mostly linear. You had a mission-by-mission game structure. This is like, imagine Call of Duty going from a single-player, very linear, action movie-based mission structure to open world. Imagine it turning into Far Cry. It would be kind of hard to adjust that game's gameplay in a way that made the open world feel both seamless and natural for that game series. So I don't envy 343 when it comes to taking, like I said, a traditionally relatively linear first-person shooter series and transitioning it to open world. So I can imagine that maybe they're not putting as much effort in the graphics because they're trying to deliver a more recognizable Halo experience. Maybe they're trying to keep the experience consistent, so when someone who maybe hasn't played Halo since Halo 3 or Reach comes in and checks out Halo Infinite, they'll be able to hop right in and go, this is Halo, this is the same Halo I played back in 2007 or 2010, or whatever your last Halo was. This is Halo. You'll be able to recognize it in the gameplay. It'll be like, it will very much be very similar to the previous games. Another thing you have to keep in mind is if you look at Alana Pierce's video on the subject, which I highly recommend, it's a really good video. I'll try to leave a link in the description. She brings up that some sources within 343 that she spoke to mentioned that this is a early build of the game. This is not the release version. So it makes perfect sense too. And I know a lot of people are looking at that and going, well, this game is supposed to come out holiday season, probably alongside the new console. And that's only, 4 months away now? 4 to 5 months away. Look, we don't have a solid release date yet. And honestly, being the fact that we are several months away, they don't have to show us the release build right now. I mean, like I said, this isn't like a week of release launch trailer where we're seeing the game in this trailer. No, we're seeing the game, but it's still an early build. It may not necessarily be in beta, or it may not necessarily be in the alpha stage, whatever, but it's an early build. So things could very, very well change between now, July, and November. That is, if the game does come out in November. Who knows? Maybe they'll decide to push it back. You never know with these things, since there isn't a set date at the moment. And even then. But what I'm trying to say is maybe this graphics problem isn't that big of a deal. Okay? I think in the end, what matters the most is that we get a good Halo experience. Is that we get a game that is recognizable to both the old Bungie fans and the new 343 fans. A game that will hopefully unify the vast majority of what is a pretty fractured Halo fan base. And that's what I want. I want a game I can sit down with and have some good times with my friends with in custom games, campaign, forge, matchmaking, whatever. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not necessarily looking for, like this beautiful tech demo. I mean, would it be great if it looked better than The Last of Us 2? Would it be great if it looked better than, Halo 5 or Rise Son of Rome? Sure, and it would be awesome, and hopefully it looks very good in the final release. But right now, as someone, like I said, who's been with Halo since the beginning, and been with it through all the ups and downs, I think really this series just needs to go back to its roots, see what worked, and kind of not necessarily go back to basics, but in a sense, get in touch with its origin point, get in touch with its previous incarnations, and make a game that truly encompasses Halo, whether it's in the return of the old art style, or the return of the old music mixed with maybe some of the new musical tracks, or the old storytelling coming back, whether it's trying something new and going open world. I think really what matters here is that the game be a Halo game, that it be a game that we can look on and say that is definitively Halo. It may not look groundbreaking. It may not look like, the most amazing game ever. It may not look photorealistic. But it's still a Halo game. It still plays like Halo. It still feels like Halo. It's a smooth experience. It's a relatively bugless experience. And I think that's what matters the most, is the gameplay and the overall feel. Granted, good graphics are great, but for me anyway, graphics are icing on the cake. So that's kind of my reasoning for saying that this really isn't a big deal. But what do you think? How do you feel about this? Do you think that this is a huge deal? Do you think this is a deal breaker for you? Do these graphics make you go, nah, I'm not going to buy that game, I'm going to sit this one out? Or maybe are you like me and you care more about gameplay? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to have a chat about it and kind of see a different perspective on this. But other than that, I hope all of you have an amazing day. Please, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to make a go at this whole YouTube thing, make a new adventure for myself here on the internet. So if you could please support me, that would be great. But anyway, I will see you all next time. This has been Varied Nexus signing off. Have a good day, guys.